I'm just that little voice that came to Canada. What did I come to do in Canada? Just to tell you.
As a father in the faith, I thank you, my father in the faith, Dr. William F. Kumuyi. Amen.
We thank the Lord for what the Lord is doing. Something is going on in Canada. You might not have seen it. We've been praying. And sometimes, you know, when God answers prayer, we don't recognize the answer. Look at Peter in the prison. And the church came together. And were praying and praying and praying. And God answered that prayer with a miracle. And Peter was sleeping. An angel came from heaven. The prayer of those people brought an angel from heaven. Tapped Peter. And Peter got up. And the soldiers changed to him while sleeping. And the chain fell off. And normally that chain falling off will make sound, a sound. Did he hear? And the angel said, follow me. Understand? That was prayer going on. And this was the answer. And so, Peter followed the angel. When they got to the iron door opened of itself. Prayer opens doors. There be an iron door that the authorities that they thought that door will never open except they use their key. There's a key in heaven that is mightier, greater than any other key. And so they came to and understand there were security guards on that first iron door. But whether the world likes it or not, every door will open before you. They came to the second iron door. And remember, Peter had nothing to do with it. The prayer group in the house of the mother of John Mark did it all. It connected with heaven, heaven connected with the prison and brought Peter out. But the point is this: as they came through that second iron door, the angel left. God does what you cannot do, what I cannot do, and he leaves the rest in our hands, because that we can do. Peter, now you're free. Am I telling somebody here today, you're free? I said you are free. Every chain, every shackle, everything that binds you, binding you to the past and binding you to the will of the people that do not know the will of God for your life, you're free from every chain. And now Peter thought, where do I go? As many as are led by the Spirit of God, they're the children of God. And so he was led to go to the prayer meeting. He knocked at the door. And everybody should have been excited. God has answered our prayer. They kept on praying. And Peter kept on knocking. And there was a little girl there. The name, you know the name? You know too much Bible. And sometimes when we know too much of the Bible, we have it in the head, and it needs some 18 inches to pass down to the heart. And so, Rhoda, as you have now reminded me, came to the door, and when she heard the sound of the voice of Peter, she was so excited. She came back to the prayer meeting and she said, God has answered our prayer. And the praying people would not believe. They said, no, it cannot be. Why were you praying if you didn't know God will answer? If you wouldn't believe when the answer came, why were you praying? And I come like Rhoda. I'm just that little voice that came to Canada. What did I come to do in Canada? Just to tell you that the door we're knocking, and the prayer we've been praying, that God has answered. You see, I don't see it, but you know, an angel did not come to open that door. The door that Peter could not open, that Rhoda could not open, that people could not open, God will open that one. But the one you can open, now stretch out your hand, open the door, and we all step into that revival. And Rhoda said, yes, it is Peter. God has answered our prayer. You know what the people said? They said, you are mad. When somebody comes and he tells you what you think, it's impossible, incredible, how can that be? You say, that preacher like Rhoda telling us what we have been praying for, and it says the answer has come. You say, preacher, you don't say it directly, but you say, unbelievable. How can a man come, look at the situation in Canada, look at what we are going through, and now he says, your prayers are answered. But like Rhoda will not give up. Rhoda kept on saying, it's Peter. God has answered our prayer. Let's stop the prayer and let's start praising God. And even though there might be people that say, how can it be? I repeat again, God has answered your prayer. And now the church, the praying people, they became spiritual. Oh, they said, okay, you are not mad. It is his angel. Were they right? No, the angel is gone to heaven. It's Peter right there. And if you don't open the door very quickly, you know what will happen? They're already searching for Peter in the prison. Where is he? Where is he? And if you are not very careful and believe and open the door immediately, they will be searching for Peter. They'll find him back there and will go back to square one. We must know, we must believe God has answered our prayer. And so they came and they opened the door. Lo and behold, it's Peter. And we opened the door today. And lo and behold, it's revival. And lo and behold, it is answer to prayer. And since God has answered, key in to that answer. It has come. On your life, it has, on your ministry, it has come. It's not something we're waiting for. What we were waiting for has now arrived. Say, revival has come. Say it again. And says, whatever you desire, when you pray, believe God has done it, and God will show the manifestation